Okay, I think we're live. Let me see here. Are we live? Are we live?
I don't know. Are
I
we?
think we're live.
I think so.
I think we're live.
Looks like it.
So we're live. You think we're live?
I don't know. Are we? It says you're live on the top of the screen.
It does say that.
With a little red box.
Little red box.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
It does.
So, this is the Detroit Disney duo. I'm Sean, and over here is
Allison.
right. And we got to remember to look in the camera here.
Oh, sorry.
That thing with the blue
light.
The blue light. There's no specials going on, but it's blue.
It's
just saying.
The days of the blue light specials gone.
Kmart's out of business here.
Yeah.
They're selling off everything. It's all for sale. It's now a different store. So, yeah. So, anyways, I'm Sean, and this is Allison, and we're the Detroit Disney duo.
Hello.
Not in Detroit proper. I guess somebody from Detroit's telling us, "What are you doing? You're not from Detroit proper." And because Detroiters are like that. If you live 1 mile or even 2 or 3 miles from north of the border, outside the border, you're in the
suburbs,
the Detroit metro area, which is really far away. So people know it's really, really far away from the airport. Detroit is not by the airport at all. I think it's like 30 miles. About 30 miles.
Yeah.
So when you fly into the airport and you think you're going to get mugged outside, no worries.
Mm-mm.
You're not close to Detroit.
It's Romulus.
It's Romulus.
Mm-hmm.
You should look people should. So it's a far ways. It's about a good 45-minute drive. So, anyway, so this is our first live stream.
First live stream.
First one.
Mm-hmm.
We have dueling mics. This was hard to get set. No, it wasn't. I already had it set up, but I had to adjust some levels. I feel like a DJ here.
You were having technical difficulties. Is what it was.
Yeah, that's why we didn't appear at 9:00. Only 9:30. Yeah. So, even if it's just two of us, that way people can see who we are and stuff. Let's see here. So let's get this part. I'm wearing my Epcot hat today, by the way. This is my Epcot trucker hat that I got. Yeah. I feel like I'm on the Midnight Trucking Network. It's one of those channels on XM. I guess if you're on the, I was thinking about this. If you're on the transportation, not the transportation authority, but the people mover.
People mover.
Yeah, you can get a trucker hat for that, and then because you're moving people.
Maybe that's true.
Things. Well, you're moving their things too. Whatever they got with them. So and
some of their goods.
Some of their goods could be their shopping packages or whatever.
For sure.
You're just taking them on a tour.
I had my Disney sweatshirt on.
You got your Disney sweatshirt
that I just got.
That looks kind of cool.
When I was just there.
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
You need it right now. It's cold in Disney.
It says Disney. And this is Walt and the arms.
Pretty soon, one of those days, we're going to be even Steven with the temperatures. It will match between here and Disney. Maybe.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
So you don't think at any time in the future it'll be 60 here and 60 in Florida?
No.
One day we'll wake up and we'll go, see, you're not really warmer than us.
No.
Every day of the week, right?
We're not as close to the equator as Florida is.
But it could be if they get really cold with a if the winds push up from Antarctica.
Or nor'easter.
Or the nor'easter happens.
I don't think so.
El Camino or one of those things.
Too much of a tropical climate.
Just saying.
Mm-hmm. So, anyways, we're here to talk about Disney, not the tropical climates of the different parts of the state.
You're crashing down on my party.
I'm sorry.
Just saying.
Just trying to keep you on track.
That's not how it works. She's keeping me in line.
Trying to.
Trying.
Mm-hmm.
Trying. She's trying a lot.
That's the key word. Trying.
So, yeah. So, anyways, we're our channel is, and I really haven't been doing it too well, but talking about some Disney stuff since we're not there all the time.
No.
And talking about some Detroit stuff, making and keeping away from like politics and all our garbage in life. And
we try to be at Disney 2 times a year.
Yeah, we try to be there 2 times a year, and that's the goal. And next year it may not happen. It may only be once this next year. We'll see. And but for certain, but for sure, this year, right? You know, I won't be there twice, but she's going to be there twice.
I'll be there twice. I just came back.
We're just going to be there later on this year, in the middle of the summer, right after school gets out, and then I guess that's a good time to go there. It should be lighter crowds. Yeah, and it should be there's no festivals going on.
No, because they'll be just winding up the Flower and Garden when we get there, because that will wind up.
Flower Garden?
Yes.
That's right.
That'd be just ending. So there won't be any festivals, but technically I don't really think there's any low time at Disney. I think it's always busy. I think there's always going to be crowds and there's always going to be lines. It's just the Disney experience. Having to wait in lines.
You have to wait in lines. You got to figure out which lines are the smallest.
Right.
That's why you have to have the app.
Yes, the app does play a good part in planning your day while you're there. Absolutely. But it's still.
I like the idea. You know what I like the idea of is that they started to have, and I guess I don't remember them because I don't think about them all the time, but they had those they were like giant TVs and tells you the wait times everywhere.
They have those now.
Yeah, they should have them by each
in Hollywood Studios. They have them.
They should have more of them, and they should be plentiful where you can walk around and you can kind of glance at them. I guess it would save your phone a lot more time.
It would, but you know what I wish they would really do? I wish they would do away with the Fast Pass system. It's the way they have it, and give you the option to buy Fast Passes like for the day for that park.
You might get hired on if you making more money for them.
Well, yeah, of course. And I mean, depending on what park you're in, would depend on whether or not it's going to be worth it. Like if you bought an all access Fast Pass for Animal Kingdom, I mean, that means that there's no 3-hour wait or trying to toggle back and forth to try to find a Fast Pass for Pandora or for Flight of Passage. Because who wants to spend their whole day waiting in a line? Right? I mean, there's tricks. If you get in line at almost closed, they have to let you ride it. But I mean, is that fair to that Disney employee to have to stay after work like an hour and a half to get people through this ride when they could just pay? People can just pay X amount of dollars for a Fast Pass. I think that would be a very novel idea, and I think a lot of people would actually buy them. And then they can also offer them like certain resorts. Like if you're staying at Resort X offers you an unlimited Fast Pass. And that would draw people to stay on that property because they're going to be like, hey, if I stay at Hotel X, I'm going to get a Fast Pass for the park. So I'm going to stay there, staying off property. So ultimately, they're still going to gain a revenue from it.
Not everybody would have a Fast Pass. You'd
either have to buy them or stay at a certain resort. You know, there is another certain park in Florida, in Orlando, and that's what they do. Like you stay at Hotel X, and that gives you your room key is also your Fast Pass for all the rides.
Disney might like you. You're making them money. If people buy that, they would make a lot more money.
When I went to the other place in Orlando.
So you think they should wait? So
the hotel I chose to stay at was one of the hotels that offered that option.
Right.
And that's what made me stay at that hotel.
So
over a different one.
If I'm paying for Fast Passes like that,
right,
then I think maybe they should lower the ticket price just a smidgen. Just saying.
But They're not going to, because people are still going to come regardless.
Right. Well,
so
true-
I mean,
true story.
they are regardless. I mean, the whole boarding pass for Rise of Resistance. It's got all those glitches that you keep reading about. Oh, they gave me boarding group 110, but they only went up to 80 because the ride broke down.
Right.
And then people are upset. And then they want to complain to Disney about it. Which, I mean, that boarding pass is not guaranteeing you a ride to ride on that ride. That doesn't guarantee you're going to get to ride that ride. When I went, we got lucky and we got boarding group 14. So, and that was because we got lucky.
Luck, it was pure
the
luck.
Person sitting next to me, I got boarding group 14. The person sitting right next to me, as close as you're sitting to me, she got like boarding group 60. So it's like a big lottery. It doesn't matter where you are in the park. It doesn't matter if you're closer to Galaxy's Edge. We were at Slinky Dog Dash when I got our boarding pass.
It's like it's like a game of chance. You win. You win your tickets in the hand of poker.
Yeah. I mean, it's a crapshoot. You get up we probably got up and was in the park. The park opened at 8 when we were there that week. So we were up and in the park by 5:45, scanning our badges at our wristbands at 6, and then in the park waiting until 8 a.m. for them to start releasing boarding passes. And like I said, we were lucky and got boarding pass 14. So, I mean, granted, we had 14. We did not ride the ride until 11:30 in the morning. So we had like 2.5 hours to kill before we rode Rise of the Resistance, which I'm going to tell you is absolutely worth every bit of the wait.
So
it's an amazing ride.
So let me we got a list of things we picked out today, right?
We do.
So we got talking about so we got a list of things that we kind of we're going to talk about. So here's one of them.
You may have to bring the font up on that because
you can't.
I can't find my glasses.
You can't find your glasses. Okay.
Hashtag old eyes.
Okay, so anyways, so one of the things we're talking about that I want to, I always see a list on Facebook of stuff and things, and today's the list that I found was 11 signs you've reached pro level.
Hashtag gold in my book, some of them.
So pro level Disney park fandom. I guess that means that you're a Disney park fan. These are 11 things, and we'll go over the list here. Not my list, but somebody else's list they put together.
It's a list that I think we found the Diz.
Yeah, from the Diz. Okay, so
who is totally awesome, might I say?
Yeah, Pete.
I love listening to him.
Guy.
He is very knowledgeable man. Whenever we book a different resort with DVC, he's like my go-to to find out if it's a good resort, or if I'm looking at a restaurant to eat at while we're at Disney, I always look to the Diz to see because more than likely he's been there.
Right. So shout out to the Diz.
Yes.
So, let's hear here's the first one. You haven't, I'll read them and then we could talk about them. You haven't touched a map in years, with the exception of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. That it's most likely that you've not held a map to anything in Disney World at all. I remember
I can check that off our list.
That Disney used to have, other than getting a map, they used to have this thing. I remember they used to send you a disc, like a CD-ROM, and you'd be able to get it. And I think there was and they also had a website where it was like a virtual 3D rendering of the park, where you could kind of like, click things and have like you can like have like a virtual reality of the on your computer, not with the virtual reality as it is now. But you'd be able to go on the on the website and check out the virtual reality map, and you could check out like different rides and see how it looks. But
It's
I
been a
don't.
long time.
Yeah, and then it says here with all the personal touches or of a private tour guide.
You know, my sister did that VIP tour with Disney.
It's a lot of money.
It is. It is.
Could be a rich person, maybe.
It was her and her friend went, and her friend was like a total Star Wars geek.
But I think you can split a private tour with a lot of people.
You can. Yeah. I think you can have up to so many people, but it was just her and her friend that did it. So
yeah, and then if you haven't been paying attention, I think it's Kyle Paulo is VIP. So you can take your roll of the dice, and you know, it's a possibility, and one of however many people are doing VIP tours that you might just get Kyle Paulo.
You may, you may.
It's a possibility.
So,
yeah. So
but also too, you don't really need to touch a paper map anymore at Disney if you have your smartphone. And I mean, your smartphone's going to tell you wherever you're at. And also on the Disney experience, it's actually going to like map you like driving directions, but walking.
You know, it'd be kind of a cool thing if they added a feature that, like, if you're like your friend's family had the map app open, and then they were a part of your party, and then you could actually see where they are on the map. Now that would be an improvement to be able to find
my kid.
You find your kids or your family on the map, and they're completely lost looking for you, and you can't, you know, you're trying to call them, and I can't hear what you're saying, man.
Kind of like that time in Animal Kingdom when you lost me.
Right. You could be like 50 feet from each other. You look at the map and go, there they are. Right.
God bless the walkie-talkies on the Apple Watches.
Yeah. So that okay. So we're gonna go on to. And I don't know anybody, but I mean, maybe if you go there a lot, a cast member at Disney that you come into close contact with in millions of people every year, it would be reasonably an extraordinary thing if they actually on your return trip remembered you. This is what I say. I don't think that should apply to your DVC guy, you know, that like is your sales guy. We're talking about people in the park, like at some kiosk that remembered you from the last trip you were there.
Well, you just got to do something memorable for them to remember you.
That's right.
A lot of times that helps.
That magic moment.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. You can really see the highlighter on my face.
You can.
Shout out to Jeffree Star.
Right.
Anyway, sorry.
You know all of the here's the next one. You know all of the worlds. You know from Hollywood Studios, Tower of Terror, Magic Kingdom, Haunted Mansion. Every word is ingrained in your. You know all the words.
It's the words to the rides.
Yeah, to the rides.
Kind of like me in the
Carousel of Progress. That's right. You do know the words.
Hashtag guilty pleasure.
Yes.
Got to ride it every time we go.
Right. It's a great big.
It's great big beautiful tomorrow.
Yeah.
Favorite ride.
One of them. Yeah. So so yeah, if you know all the words to the different things, like the Tower of Terror, Haunted Mansion.
I know that one too. Yeah.
So that's a number. Okay, let's hear the next one. And this is a lot of people. You know you don't need an online planning tool.
No.
To prepare your trip. I remember when I first started going to plan for things, you know, you want to look 100 videos up to see. I mean, it's still good to watch Disney Food Blog or watch what new is happening to the parks or find out how the rooms are being replenished. But I mean, talking about the basic things about how to get ready for your trip, what to pack, what the rules are, stuff like that. If you've been there a few times, you might have that kind of pre-planned. You might already know what you need.
Right.
But if you're a beginner, you may not have a clue, and you might be overpacking, or you might be just missing out on a lot of things.
Right.
You know?
I'm one of those people that I rather just play it by ear kind of thing. Right. I mean, I'm going to pay. Okay. So when it comes to fast passes, I'm going to try to book the ones for rides like Flight of Passage, Rise of the Resistance, the new Mickey Mouse Railroad, things like that. I may try to, but I'm not going to plan my day around fast passes. I'm not going to do it. You know, I mean, I would rather enjoy the park and everything else. I love to people watch. And so I would rather do that. But I mean, I will if I can grab a fast pass for like some of those hot rides, I'll do it. But I always like to bank on and keep my fingers crossed that they have a single rider line. And sometimes that's my go-to is to do a single rider because then if you do single rider, you can get it a lot of times just get in and out on the ride, off the ride, and back to what you're doing instead of being like, oh, we got to plan our day. We got a 2 o'clock fast pass. Oh, so I really don't want to tie myself down to something like that. I would rather just kind of play it by ear. I mean, we went when we went this last time, I think we may have had 1 or 2 fast passes booked, but like Smuggler's Run, you still can't get a fast pass for that. We just stood in line for that. And to be completely honest, the posted times that they have posted up there aren't necessarily true. Smuggler's Run, they said the wait time was like 55 minutes. I timed it. I think we were literally in line for Smuggler's Run for probably 35 minutes tops. That's as long as we were in line for that. And it was kind of nice because the newer rides I've noticed, they're putting in a stand to get something to drink because they know you may be in line for a long time. And I also noticed in Flight of Passage, they had a bathroom in the line, in the queue as you were going through. So you don't lose your place in line because you have to go tinkle. So, which would really suck if you lost your place in line because you had to go.
So here's another one. Okay. It says, you've learned, there's the next thing. You've learned not to eat in the line for a thrill ride. Let me read this. Have you ever noticed the family ahead of you consuming the rich, indulgent ice cream in the line for for Incredicoaster to see them again at the other end looking like looking a little green? Yeah, don't eat your snacks while you're in line for a roller coaster.
Yeah,
not a good idea.
It's usually not a good idea.
You've got a preferred room. Okay. I'm not talking about a preferred room as in the building closer to the lobby. I'm talking about when you've been to Disney and you stayed in the resort so many times that you have a resort room that you personally prefer to stay in, and you requested a specific room number.
We don't. No. Yeah.
I think you should get 5543.
I don't. That's not our room. I don't request a certain room number, but I will request a certain building. See, we are DVC. We are DVC members, and we own at Old Key West. And the last day I stayed in Building 56. Shout out to anyone that has Old Key West. Request Building 56. It's the best because just right outside our door was a pool, and we were there with kids, and it was nice because I could sit on the back deck of our hotel room, not at the pool, and my 15-year-old stepdaughter that was with us and the 2 children, my friends' kids, could be at the pool, and I could still see them as they were swimming, and I didn't have to sit at the pool with them.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that if you want to get like play,
it was nice.
If you're looking for a room that's right nearby, like the bus station, you don't want to walk too far,
right,
in the morning time, or you just want to. Some people like the lobby; they like really being in the mixing bowl of the hotel. That's good for them. Now, I don't know how it's going to work out the next time we go because it'll be the boardwalk.
We're staying at the boardwalk, and they only have the bus stops in the front of the hotel.
Yeah.
So it's not like Old Key West or Saratoga where they have bus stops dispersed throughout the whole resort. But we'll see. But they do have the boats in the back. So, I mean, you could always opt to walk to the boats.
Well,
and
you
the
can
boats,
walk to Epcot. It's not that far.
you can walk to Epcot, and then you could always catch a bus at
Which
Epcot.
I didn't know that goes to the
Mhm.
International Gateway.
It does.
I heard that term before, the International Gateway, until just recently.
Hmm.
I guess I'm not a expert pro that I am, because I never heard of I heard of the International Gateway,
Mhm.
but I didn't know they had its own entrance to the other side of Epcot. I thought you always had to go to the front of Epcot, which is referring to the front where the
ball
spaceship
is.
Earthship is, but I didn't know you could enter to the back. I call it the
Right.
back side of Epcot, you know?
That's where the boat, and I think that is also where the gondola goes to, because it's by Paris.
Yeah, I don't think any buses take you over to the
No.
the
No.
International Gateway. So
The International Gateway is only by foot from the hotels that are within close proximity, and the boats
boat,
that
yeah.
run to I think the boats go to, if I'm not mistaken, the Yacht Club, the Dolphin and Dolphin, and Boardwalk and Hollywood Studios.
it's possible. I have to go check that out.
Mhm. There's a few stops. It's a nice little boat ride. So
Okay, here's another one. Here's the next thing from being a pro. It says here, you struggle to find any merchandise that you don't already own. Now, I have to say, since we don't have a lot of merchandise here.
No.
Okay. I mean, I have a little collection I'm starting, because I will not collect. It's hard to get a collection going, because I think to me, this is just my opinion. A lot of people like collecting a lot of different things, and that's great. I think that's kind of a cool thing to do. But what happens to me is, I got to find room for that stuff, right?
Mhm.
And you want to make a room, and then I guess at one point in time, you after you've collected it so much, whatever you're collecting, it gets to be a point like, why did I collect this all? I think it's kind of cool to collect things. I think it's better maybe to trade things. That's why maybe Pin Trader is kind of cool, pin trading, because you get to hold that thing and go, oh man, that's really great. And then you could trade it away at a later time and somebody else, and then you get something new that's like, oh, that's really cool. I'm going to keep this for a while. And then that newness kind of falls off. You know what I'm saying? That's pin trading.
Right.
In my opinion. But I think there's people that are, they collect all the wishables, they collect all the ears, they collect all the spirit jerseys, whatever it is that's there, they're collecting, or they got a ton of them, and whatnot. So I think
Lounge fly bags.
Yeah, lounge fly bags. I think they should have a lounge fly store bag. I mean, a bag store, like a lounge fly store, just for lounge fly by themselves.
They should
in Disney Springs. I'm going to write them, sir. I think you should have a lounge fly store. I mean, it should be they should have one.
Well, no, it should carry like the lounge fly, and I think it should carry like all the bags, all the things like the Dooney and Burke, the Kate Spades, which are super cute.
I think they should,
and the Coach bags.
They should have bags for men too. Men bags, like backpacks, like nice backpacks, not no cheap backpacks, or men's stuff.
They would need to make the backpacks a little bit bigger to accommodate
a lounge fly is not going to be,
they're a little too small, because I remember you were looking at them.
Yeah, they're kind of cute. I mean, they're not cute. They're cute. I mean, they look nice. They're kind of presenting to the eyeball, but they're just not something for a guy. Well, I mean, for me, it's it's not for me. I don't want to say it's not every guy. Some guys might like.
Some guys might like them, but it's just not your. It's not your cup of tea.
Not my cup of tea.
No.
I want something bigger.
It's not your wheelhouse.
It's just So, anyways, there's always that stuff like it, but there's a lot of people who line up for merchandise. You could say that it's hard to find something that they don't already own. I could tell you that there's a lot of people who they're just like waiting for the newest item of something to come up, like some anniversary date, like they're
look at the time we were there when it was the 50th anniversary of the Haunted Mansion, but I think it was the Haunted Mansion in California.
No, it was Haunted Mansion. Yeah, it was the Haunted Mansion in California.
It was.
Yep, it was.
It was. And look at all the people that were there. There was tons of people wanting to get the what are those? Those big head things.
The bobblehead.
The pop things like you have back there.
Oh, the pop. Yeah.
those. The people that wanted to get those, and they ran out of them, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. But like all the other merchandise too. I don't know what they're called. They look like bobbleheads.
Bobbleheads, yeah.
So, but
okay, let's move on. Let's hear
mhm.
I don't think that, well, I don't know. Some people, this is probably them, but it's not us. Okay.
What's that?
You know, your table placement when you're making a dinner reservation at one of the resort restaurants or any restaurant thereof, you know exactly where you want to sit at. Now, here at where we live, we go to restaurants and we say, I want to sit there.
Yeah, because we know the restaurants here are a little bit better too. So there's a big difference. I mean, if you were a huge Disney novice that's there all the time, you would probably know what table you would like to sit at.
But I don't think there's some tables that are better than other tables. Maybe, are there?
No, I don't think so. But I mean, like maybe at the 50 prime time, maybe there, because it's like decorate. I don't know. It's
maybe the decorations are better at some tables than the other.
Right. Or like the sci-fi cafe, people may want to sit in those cars.
Like a certain car.
Versus, a certain car, like they like the red car. That's their favorite car.
That's my favorite car.
Right. I mean, I guess I could see that, but like, I don't know. I mean, restaurants here at home, we know. Like,
well, I think there's some, if you have a show, maybe if you're going to be at one of those shows
like the Hoop-de-Doo or something like that,
where you get a different view, or even outside, we're going to see the fireworks. If you're going to get a certain so I could see that where you might want to be able to get a different, if you have like, I have to have this table here in order to get that view,
right? Or like those people that eat at the Rose and Crown at Epcot during my back itches, during the fireworks. Because that is right on the water where the fireworks go off. Yeah. So maybe, I mean, I could see that, you know, like here at home, we know whether we want to sit outside or inside at certain restaurants.
All right. So let's see here. The next thing is you're fluent in Disney Spanish. Hold on, let me read this. It says, if you've been on rides so many times that you've learned all the warnings. Oh, yeah, right. So if you like, there's that one that you enter the door,
on the people mover,
right?
Or the monorail, the monorail.
Yeah, on the monorail. It's talking about the standard un momento por favor on the monorail, or it says that please keep your hands and arms and legs in the side at all times. Individual safety notices for each attraction. There's a lot. Everybody says that. I think there should be. I think they probably, somebody's already got one that says por favor, or whatever.
Has all the
has all the logo and stuff like that. I mean,
has the whole saying on the shirt.
Let's see here. So you know that. Everybody knows that there's all the Spanish things. Let's see here. All right. This is one that I'm not really a bit. This is one thing I could probably improve on, and I'm sure a lot of people are, but a lot of people, there's actually a YouTube channel where it talks about, this is about know your Disney history, right? If you know the Disney education has been absorbed through experience of the parks, you may qualify for this next one. Park knowledge is that you can see and feel one thing, but going home and researching the history of the place that you love so much. So there's some people that really are history buffs. I've seen some YouTube channels. I can't remember off the top of my head a few of them, but I'm sure that people could in the comment section could mention one. But there's a couple of places. I mean, there's like people who really are into the history of Disney, and like, for instance, I know Adam the Woo. He's like this guy that really is deep down, has gone to some places that are really significant for Disney. Like, he's been to the grave sites of like the family of Disney, and he's been to the because it's really not that far from there. And and then there's where Walt used to live at. And I think a couple weeks ago he's posted one that was kind of Disney related. So I think that it's the just history of Disney is really interesting, and I'm gonna tell you right now, there's some people that hang around with some well-known Disney Disney employees that can tell you some really cool things and cool stories about Disney, and I think that's on its own, that they're just the the amount of knowledge and content that you can get offline, and just going and learning about just Disney and more than just the parks itself, but just all the history behind stuff is just like there's a big debate now. Like a lot of people have it like about Goofy. Is Goofy a cow, or Goofy is a dog? A dog, right? So
he's a dog.
When you think about it, that dilemma,
it's debate though, because me and my friend had that debate.
It dwells down to like this historical drawings of what Goofy looked at like in the beginning. Did Goofy really come out of being a cow in one cartoon? I don't have the answer to that because I can't forget, but I've seen those old Disney cartoons, the black and white ones that were I can't remember the name of them, but where you get
Steamboat Willie
and all those other ones, and they have like the old Goofy and the Goofy family members. I think there might be.
I think the big debate with Goofy now is I guess there's a game, the Emoji Game or something. And when it asks you to play a cow, Goofy comes up.
Wow.
And you can use Goofy, because that's where mine and my friends' debate came from when we were at Disney, because we like had a drop down debate on whether Goofy was a dog or a cow. I say dog, because that's just what I think. So, but talking about like Disney history, I mean, there's like other places you can go and like to hear about Disney history. Like we have Greenfield Village. Case in point, when we were in Greenfield Village, there's a part of Greenfield Village that you walk down and it eerily kind of reminds you of Main Street USA in Disneyland. And the guy at Greenfield Village told us that Walt Disney had come to Greenfield Village in Michigan and he had modeled Main Street USA after the main street through Greenfield Village. So there's a little Detroit tie there, I guess.
Yeah, and I did see Adam the Wood went to somewhere in the middle of the United States, like I think it was like Nebraska or like somewhere else around Texas somewhere. And he said he found a town that was Main Street USA. And I don't know if that's the same Main Street USA that Disney was playing a Disney scene, because he was living kind of near there. But I do know that Disney was kind of influenced also by Henry Ford himself. And, because Henry Ford was, if you didn't know that, Henry Ford was a fanatic of the railroads too.
Right.
Because in the early 1940s, before the car, the car was around, but in the 1940s, before a lot of people before the airplane, traveling in trains was the fastest way to get people around from place to place. And even the Wright brothers and Henry Ford and everybody else, that's how they got around from long distances, is they rode the trains.
Well, yeah.
So everybody was really enthusiastic about learning about trains, and there's still a lot of train enthusiasts that are out there. So
I think he just took little pieces from a lot of different places that he visited and kind of used them all
together
to kind of model it. So, but
yeah. So let's see here. It's going on 38 minutes. Let's see here. Let's talk. There's a couple of things that I seen that I thought that was interesting. I think next week or the next time we do this, I think we're going to talk about some of our planning to our planning and how we go through it. We're not planners.
We're not planners.
But this, like, there's some new
by
information
any stretch.
There's about the dining plan. I'd like to talk about that the next time around, because we really.
I kind of like.
We should go.
I'm just gonna say I kind of like that they have another option, but I really wish they would have like just a snacks option.
Yeah, so
snacks only.
We're gonna go over
dining
that
plan
next time. That's gonna be the next time. Let's see here. But I do like some of the merch. They're coming out with a lot of merch. I don't know what it is. I've become like more of a merch guy.
Yeah.
I do know Disney Food Blog has like all the food, and I look at the food and I go, oh man, I could just eat everything that they're showing us, right?
They show all the good stuff.
It's so some of the stuff that they make, like the cupcakes,
it's pretty.
It looks so great, and it looks like
sometimes
I just want to take it home and keep it. Yeah, you don't want to eat it, right?
You don't want to eat it, but they're so darn.
You're like, can I save that? You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I'm really a fanatic about like some of the merchandise, but I can't buy it all. You know, I can't buy it all.
You just
either.
got to buy a select few pieces.
You know, buy a select few pieces that go. That's what I like. So I like one of the things I've seen that is back because I was born in the 70s.
A lot of it is 70s themed. I noticed when we were there, like back to the 70s, like a lot of the stuff, windbreakers,
they're doing
little
this,
fanny packs, all of it.
Yeah, they're doing this back to the 70s thing, which is kind of cool. And I kind of like it because, you know, I'm going to be 50, right? When the park is 50,
nifty
and
50.
I'll be nifty 50, and then I'll be able to, you know, be kind of a cool thing. So I can't wait for that. Let's see here. So I want to say, first of all, if you have joined our live stream, I haven't seen anybody's, if you're watching, I haven't seen anybody say anything in chat. So if I don't know if it's just me or nobody said anything, but it hasn't come across, and I'm sorry. Secondly, if you see this in a replay, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for being here, and thanks for watching and stuff, and subscribe. We hope to bring more of these like this, talking about things like everybody else. I like watching other streams, you know, Dole Whip Dad, and the Distant Deck guys, and Mouse Talk, and all that other stuff that's going on, and watching Resort TV 1, and I like watching all of them. We can't make it there all the time, but I really like watching that kind of stuff. So
and hopefully, you know, with this little channel that we have, you know, maybe bringing you guys some of the great things that happened here in our city in Detroit. Kind of get people to see, you know, Detroit isn't like what everybody thinks it is. It's a pretty cool city. We have a lot of cool things that I would like everyone to see, like the riverfront. And, you know, we have a little town called Greektown that, you know, embraces the Greek background. We have Mexican Town. We have quite a lot of nice little nuggets of little areas that you can see to kind of show people, you know, kind of showcase our city a little bit, because, you know, our city has come back quite nicely and it is a beautiful city.
Yeah.
So, and we would like to share some of that with people, you know, so they're like, oh, you're from Detroit.
Yeah, that's a bad kind
Detroit
of
doesn't have a good name sometimes.
Bad rap sometimes.
Yeah.
We're not the, you know, it's not, if we're not the bad boys from Detroit, like the Pistons. No, I'm just joking.
That was the Pistons.
That was good. The good bad boys.
Right. Back when our basketball team was actually a basketball team. And, you know, we don't have a really good football team. But man, do we have a fantastic football stadium.
Yeah. So we got a lot of good food here in Michigan.
We do.
Detroit area, and we got a lot of good things to go see. A lot of good historical stuff, and then we're the automotive capital of the planet almost.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of things that happen here, and a lot of cool car events.
Tons.
Like a ton of them. And so if you're a car enthusiastic, you know, and we just got back. We just got a new golf tournament that's here for the second time.
Yes.
And right in the city of Detroit. So things are coming
right
up.
in the city. Yeah.
Things are coming up in Detroit. So so our goal for this channel here is to talk, show you Detroit things, but also talk about you know, our love of Disney and stuff like that. And I like talking about merchandise and things that are happening in Disney, and sharing our experiences to try to help people that are new, or just reminiscing or talking about and sharing things that are going on.
Our trips that have
happened, that they're planning, or that have gone on, and reacting to news, you know,
which we will be in Disney in June.
Yeah, June.
So we'll be there for 10 days, which I'm kind of looking forward to because I love going to Disney. But, you know, with us being from Detroit, I mean, if you rewatch this video and, you know, there's somewhere in Detroit that you're curious about or would like for us to showcase, maybe just kind of drop it in the comments. And, you know, Sunday Fun Day, we always try to go out on adventures, you know.
Yeah, so a lot of people who've been in Detroit, but they haven't seen it, or they know somebody from Detroit.
Or they're just curious about it.
You just let us know. We can go visit something.
We can, like the Heidelberg project,
I don't know
all
if
the
that's
arts. It's still going,
still
yeah.
going? Yep.
Yeah, where they've painted all the buildings and stuff in the neighborhood.
Yep.
We have that. We have the DeQuinder Cut, which has like tons of beautiful graffiti artwork where like people from Germany and stuff have come and actually put their artwork up there. We have the Eastern Market, which is such a cool place. Such a cool place. I mean, we have a lot of good stuff. I mean, I'll even go to the casino for you if you want me to.
Right. She'll go to the casino. Some of them are in really historical areas. But
They
I
are.
don't think they allow you to have your camera in the.
They do. It's not like back in the gangster days in Vegas where you couldn't take pictures in the casino in case you
Right.
caught someone catting around on their woman. But I mean, it's a fun town. Like we have some really good sports arenas.
And
Like
some of the food places also, if you didn't know, some of the food places are coming from that are in Florida. They're now coming here. Like we got like BJ's Warehouse from Florida.
Yeah, that hot dog place.
The hot dog.
What's that place?
Yeah, Tim Tracker's going to one. We're going to have to do we'll do it. It's called Portobello's or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a hot dog place. It's going to be here like sometime soon.
Yeah, we're getting one of those.
We already have a fresh start.
First watch.
I don't know.
We have quite a few first watches now.
First watch now. Yeah, all over the place.
But yeah, I mean, we're getting a lot of really, really super cool things. We used to have a Hard Rock Cafe, but
no longer there.
I don't know what happened to it.
Kind of went down the tubes.
But I mean, we have a cool little area downtown. It's called Campus Marshes. Like right now, it's got an ice skating rink where you can go ice skating.
And in the summertime, it becomes like they have bringing I don't want to say
it becomes a beach.
Sand. They have actual sand, like sand, and you get it's like a becomes almost like a
it does like a beach,
like a beachfront almost.
You could play like a beach volleyball, and then they get an inflatable screen and they do movies out there under the sun.
Kind of cool stuff.
It's really cool. We got the Techno Music Fest, which is one of the big techno music fest I think in the United States.
Stuff,
and it's like it's a really cool festival.
Yeah, so we got a lot of, and we got something that's almost like the Disney arts the arts festival. We have it's called the Arts Beats and Eats. Mm-hmm. And we have arts and you have some beats and you have some eats and you get to go around. So we'll have to show you that, but it's almost it's exactly like what
identical.
Disney has.
Yeah, you get the little small plates thing.
and
you have to buy tickets. And
we have
it's really kind of cool.
It's just like the Festival of the Arts, but you get like it is exactly the same thing. Yeah.
It is just minus Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, no Mickey Mouse there.
I mean, there might be, but might not be the real one.
Right.
But yeah, we have a lot of cool stuff here in Detroit, in Michigan, and in Detroit.
So anyway, so next week, or when we do this again, which I hope to be soon, live again. I also gonna do more. So anyways, thanks guys for watching. It's been about 47 or so minutes, and we'll let you guys go. And thanks for watching, and you guys have a great one. So for now, you know what time it is. It's over
and out.
Yeah, and out.
and out.
And out.